Good to go, baby. We good to go, baby. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Hey, tonight it's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good show tonight. It's gonna be a good show tonight. What's poppin', Maddie? What's poppin'? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Hey, 2025. I'm telling you, 2025. We going all in. We going all in. But tonight it's gonna be a good show, man. We gonna break this shit down. Cause like I say, these days they want you to follow the algorithm. So what a lot of content creators do is whatever the new story is, everybody jump on it. So everybody move away from what's really important. And I'm not doing that shit. Like I say, every night we go talk about it. Every time they have an update, we go have an update. And we go really break it down. Cause we go break down the history of a lot of things. Because I love to show y'all how history and today, how it all ties in together. Appreciate that. Yeah. Like and sub to the channel. I appreciate that, Maddie. We need the shirt symbol. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Trust me. 2025 is coming. It's coming. Yeah, we don't sleep. Yeah, they can't sleep. Like I say, the news, they go tell you part of what's going on. They ain't gonna tell you how everything ties in together. And I'm gonna tell y'all all that shit tonight. You know what's popping, Angela? What's popping? Mike Hunt, what's popping? What's popping? What's popping, my family? Hey, tonight, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I love going back into history and seeing how history plays a big part into what's going on. So that's why you see they say free Diddy, but that's why you see um, a lot of them trying to get rid of history. They trying to get rid of a certain subject they don't want to talk about no more. They trying to get rid of that shit. You can't get rid of it. That's why we got TikTok. That's why they trying to ban TikTok because you go in there, you go. I'm telling you, you damn near don't need school because TikTok will teach you more. It's gonna give you the real deal. What's poppin'? Hey, you about to catch a black eye, fool? Peace. That guy from Texas. What poppin', man? What's poppin'? You fell for the trap, Blake Smalls. Simon Lewin. Hi. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What up, bro? Just got in. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? So that gap is nasty work. Appreciate that. Hi. Checking in from going. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Now y'all getting crazy, bro. High user. Let the Squid Games begin. Facts, bro. Uh, Peace found they will find a new CEO fast. I'm telling you. Oh boy. Turn 36 couple weeks, just start investing seriously long term. Yeah, I'm telling you. See, a lot of people don't know that, man. Like in your 30s, that's when you really start, figuring shit out. That's when you really start investing. That's when you really start getting your life together for real, for real. In your 30s. There you go, Maddie. Hey, get rid of them. That's why I made you a mod. Get rid of them. If they being disrespectful, now trolling, you could keep them, but if they get disrespectful, get rid of them. But trolling, you can let them troll. We need the trolls. We think about the boy Jay Z and Diddy. I wouldn't want to be him, bro. Like I say, them dudes want to be perfect, bro. Anybody who wants to like appear perfect, they in trouble. Cause as soon as they accuse you of something, they got you. They got you. Appreciate y'all coming to the live today. And oh yeah, 7 minutes in. Let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. Appreciate that, DJ. Now, y'all see when you really have something to say, they don't want to let you talk. You can't talk because any word he say is gonna motivate the other young engineers, And look where they at. I want y'all to remember that Pennsylvania. They're in Pennsylvania, right? That's where he got caught, right? Tonight we going in, bro. We gonna make this shit make sense. Perfect, perfect. Too light skin. Watch. We go. Hold on, hold on. We go. We go talk about Pennsylvania because look, I want y'all to remember. I want y'all to remember when he had the monopoly money. Don't forget the monopoly money that was in the book bag that they found. And y'all know in Monopoly, if y'all ever played Monopoly, let me know in the comment section. Yes or no. If you ever played Monopoly, or if you still play it, cool, cool. Now you know the first thing. Well, it's not the first thing. It's one of the first things you do is you give out the money. So, so by him leaving that money in that book bag, he was telling them that the game is on. They ain't even catch that shit. They ain't even catch that shit. See, sometimes in life you have certain people that can't just go along with shit. You have certain people that's tired of the way the world is going. No matter if their parents was rich, if they was privileged, it don't matter. Once you start, once you start learning how dirty this world is and how they really have a monopoly on this world to stay sane, that's why some people drink all the time. That's why some people smoke all the time. Some people take pills every day because to stay sane in this world, it's not easy. So that's why you have people, they have to drink every day so they don't crash out. They have to pop pills before they go out in the world. They have to smoke weed before they go and face people. Before they walk out of their door, they have to smoke weed because if they don't, they will crash out. And then you got some people, they just crash out. They like fuck it. They like fuck it because they'd rather just live. They'd rather just make that choice instead of living a life on drugs. It's so many people that can't go through life sober. They functioning alcoholics, functioning weed heads. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. I don't judge people, but I'm just, speaking in particular. Yeah, real life is deep, bro. Bro, this live, I'm telling you, we going hard. We going hard. But real life is deep. It's people who have to smoke every day. If they don't smoke, they can't see people. They can't be around people. People have to do shrooms every day, or they can't be around people because they would just crash out. It's hard to stay sane in this world. That's why I don't judge people when they alcoholics. You ever start drinking and you like, damn, I see why people become alcoholics. Or you ever start smoking, you like, damn, I see why people are high every day. I understand it. Because to be sane in this world, to have a strong mind, you really have to be, bro, it's tough. It's tough. So I don't judge people, man. Shows around people act normal. Everything that you say, yeah, like I I be getting it, bro. Like I get it. They do so much dirt. They have a monopoly on this whole world. That's why people say, "Oh, move overseas." You think that's different? The same people that's fucking over this is fucking over there. Go overseas and see how them folks living, and see how dirty they doing them people. Nothing changes. You can't run from this shit. You got people that's always trying to run from this shit. You can't run from this shit. At some point, you can't stop because you fight. It's not strong mind. It's more like got to tolerate the book. Hey, whatever you call it, bro. Yeah, you go overseas, bro. They doing them people dirty. You will lose family waking up. Oh yeah, family, friends. Hell yeah. But tonight we going in, bro. I got some good shit, bro. I be proud of myself when I get into the history of shit because a lot of stuff I just be looking up and I'm like, damn, I ain't know this. This type of fellow who doesn't talk around people and turns on the phone and says all this crap. He's all talk around people, bro. You must be Caucasian. You must be Caucasian. Now, now remember I told y'all he left the Monopoly in the bag and they found the bag, right? Now let's get into it. Mm, let's get into it.
Are going to go down anytime. If you're hoping your healthcare premiums are going to go down anytime soon, don't hold your breath. Just take a look at this. Insurance companies have requested huge premium hikes. Blue Cross 56% in Michigan, and Anthem 39% in California, 24% in Connecticut, 23% in Maine. And at the height of the healthcare debate in Washington, the president is up in arms. Just last month.
Now look, this was uh this was 14 years ago. This was 14 years ago. And the title is Health Insurance Monopoly. 14 years ago. 14 years ago. I want y'all to pay attention.
Anthem Blue Cross in California.
We're gonna
Healthcare
start it over.
premiums are going to go down anytime soon. Don't hold your breath. Just take a look at this. Insurance companies have requested huge premium hikes. Blue Cross 56% in Michigan, and Anthem 39% in California, 24% in Connecticut, 23% in Maine. And at the height of the healthcare debate in Washington, the president is up in arms. Just last month, Anthem Blue Cross in California tried to jack up rates by nearly 40%. 40%. Anybody's paycheck on them?
Hey, Maddie, don't trip. Let him leave him in there. Just leave him in. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. Because I don't want you working hard. Hey, just let's get into this shit.
40%? The numbers are sobering. Health insurance premiums soared 131% in the last 10 years, costing the average family about $13,000 more over a decade. American Medical Association President Dr. James Rohack says the Justice Department has done little to stop health insurance companies from merging, creating what he sees as a monopoly, a system that can dictate the market for the very product they push. 70% of the market in 25 states is controlled by just two health insurers, just two. And in the state of Alabama, one insurer, Blue Cross, controls 80% of the market. You've got that dominance of one insurer, and as a result, they have a take it or leave it premium. The insurance industry says they have to raise rates because the overall cost of care is going up. So they have to pass those increases along to policyholders. Healthcare costs are surging. We have to get those under control. Fair enough. But don't forget, these companies answer to shareholders who expect to see one thing: profit. How much profit? That's what we wanted to know. So we checked the three biggest insurance companies in America. United earned $3.8 billion last year. WellPoint took home
And 14 years ago, $3.8 billion. United. The same company dude, the CEO, got unalive for. And this 14 years ago. Imagine how much money over these years, over these decades, these people made, bro. Say these companies, yeah, I'm telling you.
3.2 billion, and Aetna saw profits of 1.3 billion.
Profits.
And it pays to be an executive at these companies. Angela Braley, the CEO of WellPoint, which owns Anthem Blue Cross, earned more than $1 million in salary in 2008, along with stock options valued at $8.5 million. In 2008, United Healthcare CEO Stephen Hemsley earned $5 million, a fraction of what the CEO at Aetna took home. Ronald Williams was paid $38 million. That health plan executive still sleeping at home, not worried about how that person who doesn't have health insurance is going to get their medical care because it's not their problem. The insurance industry lobby insists salaries are set by the board of directors and have nothing to do with premiums charged. They also say they're being unfairly targeted. What people are doing wrong right now is focusing laser-like only on our industry. And to fight back, the insurance companies plan to spend millions of dollars on ads arguing against the proposed healthcare overhaul. Randy Kay, CNN.
I showed y'all the title again. Health Insurance Monopoly. And we going deeper into this shit, man. Throw that whole healthcare. Yeah, bro. Like I say, it's the stuff that he did was not to just let this pass by overnight shit. I think this right here is getting towards next year. Next year is going to be more people like him, more younger engineers that's doing the same thing that he did. We all know this shit true. Oh yeah, all know it's true. I'm telling you, they don't. But they thought when they found that money that he was just they just let that shit go. No, this is the start of a because he's a game creator also. A game I thought it was a game app or something like that. He created his own personal game, but this is just the beginning of what's about to happen to these people. Yep. But y'all remember they caught him at the McDonald's in Pennsylvania, right? Somebody tell me, somebody tell me in the comment section, what state the monopoly originated in? What state the monopoly originated in? They caught him at the McDonald's in Pennsylvania. What state the monopoly originated in? Tell me in the comment section. Says Zimbabwe. They called me in Pennsylvania. Washington D.C. Nah, man, it was Pennsylvania. It originated in Pennsylvania. So many black people here trolling. Oh no, no, that's cool, bro. Like I said, you have to have trolls. My home state, Pennsylvania. But we about to get into it though.
Good morning, David. Hello. The board game Monopoly has been around for a very long time, and American families still love playing it, even if it can drag on too long, earning the nickname monotony. But the game has a remarkable history that reaches back to the early 20th century. David Begnaud is here with that story. Good morning, David.
Vanita, good morning. The history is legendary. The Beatles played Monopoly in a New York hotel room on their first U.S. tour. The game was even used to smuggle money and maps to POWs during World War II. And it turns out the game's history is scandalous. And today's
Yep,
version,
Kyron, yep.
it's nothing like what it was meant to be. This is $800 rent instead of $330. It's a Tuesday morning in Southern California, and Timothy Vandenberg, the second-ranked competitive Monopoly player in the country, is using the game to teach math to his sixth-grade class.
Listen to what he says.
These are the tools that every Monopoly player should know. Number one, the oranges are king, but anything could win except for the browns. Number two, build to the three-house level. That's when you get your best return on investment. And number three, think ahead. Now that's a major life skill we want our children and adults these days.
So if anybody ever played Monopoly, you know it's played between 2 and 8 players. That's why I told y'all he's not the only player in this game. He's not the only player in this game. They think he's the only one. And if you look at all the videos, all the pictures, don't it look like different people every time they post a picture? Every time they post a picture, don't it look like a different person? Yeah, it's real life. That's why I'm talking about it. And a lot of people they might not like this. It might be boring to them, but it's real life. Purpose of leaving it in the bag to let police find. Exactly. As soon as police found it, the game was on because to start Monopoly, you got to pass around the money. And when they opened that bag, game was on. And sometimes in Monopoly, what happens? You have to go to jail. It just happens. But if you have money, his family has money. So he's gonna get bail. He's gonna make bail before Friday. I'm telling you, when they found that money, that Monopoly money in that bag, the game was on. Bro, this shit is genius as hell, but it gets deeper, man. It gets deeper.
Plan ahead. Now you want to build.
It's ironic that Vandenberg uses the board game to educate, because that is exactly what it was created for, before it became an American icon. I, like most people, thought that Monopoly was invented during the Great Depression. I, like a lot of people, had heard this story that a man invented it. His name was Charles Darrow, sells it to Parker Brothers, rags to riches, Cinderella story, all is great. The problem is that's not exactly true. The truth.
Stay well. That's facts. Every photo looks different. Even the photo when they found him at McDonald's, it looked like a whole different person. But that's the point. I'm telling you. That's why I say with Monopoly, it's 2 to 8 players. He's not the only player. You think he planned all this to just get caught? No, he wanted to get caught. What's popping? ATM. What's popping? He wanted to get caught. But listen to this part because this the woman who created the Monopoly game.
Avalon discovered is that a woman, Elizabeth McGee, invented the game in 1903 as a protest against big money of the Gilded Age. The Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Morgans of the world. There's an amount of wealth being created in this country that was concentrated among a few people that we had never really seen before. So she makes a board game as a teaching tool to try and teach about the evils of Monopoly. She called her square board, complete
Appreciate
with
that,
a go
Maddie.
to jail space, the landlord's game. How did it get away from her? So it gets a little complicated. She patents her game in 1904, and it spreads as a folk game. It goes viral, like turn of the century style. It's played in Boston, in New York, in Philly, and as people are playing it, they're making the board their own. By the early 1930s, the Quakers of Atlantic City renamed spaces on the board with iconic properties like Boardwalk and Park Place. By then, the entire game had changed. So who came up with that name Monopoly? When Lizzie McGee creates the Landlord's Game, she talks in the rules.
See, at first Monopoly was called the landlord's game until she sold they gonna talk about that. She sold the game, but it was called the landlord's game, and it was to teach people how these people in power take advantage of them. That was the game. So now, fast forward to present day, I feel like he's creating a new game, real life Monopoly, to wake people up. So I just feel like I have to do this video because we have to stay, and I hate to say like stay woke, shit like that, because it's so cliche, but you really have to stay woke because if you don't, you're gonna have to drink every day. You're gonna have to smoke every day. You're gonna have to stay inside all day and avoid people because you just depressed. But once you know what the game really is, and you can accept this shit, it is what it is. You got to find your property. You got to find, you know, your winning year in this life. But let's move on to.
Extensively about monopolies and anti-monopolies. So it's not long, almost
He
immediately
said, "I'm gonna kill
after
you, bro."
the Monopoly game. It was the height of the Great Depression when an unemployed Philadelphia man named Charles Darrow discovered the already popular game through a friend of his. He made his own version, and on March 19th, 1935, he sold the rights to a game maker. This is the original game that Charles Darrow gave to Park Brothers. Hasbro's vice president of gaming marketing, Jonathan Berkowitz, showed us this version, printed on the back of a tablecloth, displayed at the company's headquarters in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Parker Brothers was acquired by Hasbro in 1991. This week, company executives, right alongside Mr. Monopoly, celebrated the 80th anniversary of Darrow's game by ringing the closing bell at the NASDAQ.
Over a billion people have played Monopoly around the world. It's in 114 countries and 47 different languages. So it's a very, very global game.
Hasbro acknowledges that Monopoly was inspired by Lizzie McGee, but since her death, her story has largely been lost to history. Charles Darrow is the one who rolled the dice and got all of the credit. When he becomes a millionaire, does anyone say, hey, by the way, a woman is the one that started all this?
Right. Lizzie McGee actually herself speaks out. She does these two interviews, one with the Washington Post and one with the Washington Evening Star. She holds up her boards, her early games, and the Monopoly board and says, hey, I was around a long time before.
Does she get the credit then?
By then, the Darrow Cinderella story was so wrapped up in the craze in the game. It was so much part of the enchantment of the marketing of Monopoly. It doesn't seem to really go anywhere.
Monopoly historian and former Parker Brothers executive Fillmore Baines says the company paid Lizzie McGee $500 for the rights to the Landlord's game, and they even put her face on the cover.
Game inventors just didn't get that in 1935. She died in 1948, and up and through during her entire lifetime, she and Darrow were given joint credit for the idea behind Monopoly. After she passed away, then yes, she was forgotten.
Today, Monopoly is a real sport. The Emmy Award-winning documentary Under the Boardwalk profiles players in the highly competitive U.S. Monopoly Championship. Players like Tim Vandenberg, who's now using the game as Lizzie McGee would have wanted, as a tool to teach, minus the Monopoly.
What do you think it says that the game as it is today is the exact opposite of what Lizzie McGee wanted it to be? Be careful what you put out there. It might come back to haunt you. It promoted what she did.
And many people may not.
Now y'all heard what he said, right? Be careful what you put out there. So we know a woman put the game out, back in the early 1900s. Then they came back and messed the game up and made it about them, made it about, getting money and stuff. So now, fast forward, like he said, be careful what you put out there. Once somebody learns the game, once they learn the game, the only way to stop playing the game. Wait, what do you say? I'm telling time to go back to sleep. I gotta get rid of you, dog. But like I was saying, the game ends when everybody stops playing. When we want this Monopoly game to end, it's when everybody gets tired of that shit. So one by one, next year, 2025, you're gonna slowly see people getting tired of this shit. People crashing out. People stop smoking weed. People getting tired of getting drunk because they in this game of Monopoly. You're gonna start seeing people waking up and doing stuff like this. And I'm not saying I want this to happen, but it's gonna happen. You're gonna see people like stop chasing money and instead they say, you know what? Fuck it. I can make less money this year and enjoy life. You're gonna start seeing more people do that. He could call these little parasites. He said you mad, bro. Every time I play Monopoly, no one ever won. The game ends when everybody stops playing. When everybody decides to stop playing, that's when it ends. He said, I'm sorry, I don't see weed smoking and alcoholism. I don't know because you don't go through life and you get too much of something or you got too much access. So let's say like weed. Now you can buy weed at any time. You can just walk into the dispensary and get weed. So now it's too much access. So sooner or later, people get tired of that shit. I'm telling you, it's too easy access. Get it? What he said, Brand? True, because the game can go on and on and on. I quit every time. Yeah, when you get fed up, when everybody get fed up, the game ends. Because they running monopoly on everybody. And he was the only one that stood on all teams. Yep. Like in New York, you walk outside, and look, I don't have a problem with weed. I don't have no problem people who smoke weed, but you walk outside, they do stuff purposely. They say, okay, they want to make weed legal, let's make it legal. Let's keep everybody high all day. And you know what happens when you get high for the most part? You get lazy. You get lazy. You start eating all day. I'm telling you. And the game's so cold. The game's so cold. They arrested all the drug dealers. They arrested all the drug dealers and set up dispensaries. Bro, every time I think about that shit, it's cold, bro. It's cold. They arrested all the drug dealers, all the dope boys. They arrested them and opened up dispensaries. And you can just walk in and buy weed like nothing ever happened. Yeah, more destruction. Cause you ever met people, and like I say, I don't have a problem people smoke weed or drink. I don't have a problem. I don't judge none of that. But they do this stuff on purpose. You ever met somebody who smokes so much they don't get high? They don't get high no more. They just smoke because they just used to it. How do you control someone who gives them? Mm, how do you control someone? You give them what they want. That's facts. You stop fighting, you stop the resistance, and you give them what they want. And they know this shit. They know this shit. And I'd be laced with crap and fentanyl. Facts. Rick Ross, Frank Lucas, AZ were all chosen. Oh yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But I ain't gonna say they were chosen. I'm just saying they put they put the drugs in our community on purpose. And while they did that, they took away the jobs on purpose. So weed is a no-brainer. You fall asleep. Facts. You fall asleep. They want people high all day, and then they make money from it. So you see people like Charlemagne the God and old boy from Wu Tang Clan. They opened up a dispensary in what I think it's in New Jersey, or it's in New York. I don't know which one it is, but they ain't no success. You fucking over your people still. You just want to make money. That's it. Malcolm X had a speech. He was like, "You're more dangerous when you sober," and they know that. You're more dangerous when you sober. They know that shit. So now you meet everybody. They hide, even doctors. If you know doctors outside of the hospitals and stuff like that, you got friends or like family members, they on drugs. They on drugs. They on drugs every day and coming and tell you about your health. Doctors on drugs every day because nobody talks about it. To go through this world, you have to have a strong mentality or you go give in. And we all have moments where we give in. We have those years where we give in or those months where we give in and then we wake back up. We all go through those moments. Told you healthcare is worse. Yeah. I did not know that. Yeah. Oh yeah, doctors on addicts. Man, a lot of people own addicts, bro. A lot of people own addicts, bro. People you would never think. People you would never think. But like I say, to be sane in this world, it's not easy. So I don't even judge him because when you sane, you do stuff like you know, like John Wick. When you sane and you start putting two and two together, you're like, wait, somebody got to do something. We all give in facts. Function as you make. Yeah, it's a lot of people who are functioning addicts. But let's see. Doctors used to smoke cigarettes. Or, oh yeah, bro, this America, dog. The more you make, the more they take. Always remember that. So that's why you see so much fraud. Okay, so now let's move on to when he got caught at McDonald's, right? We talked about the monopoly money that the cops found. We talk about where monopoly was originating from, how it was created and all that. But he got caught at the McDonald's in Pennsylvania, right? Let's move on.
McDonald's Monopoly Prize. Winner of a $1 million. Have you ever wished that you could be an instant winner of a $1 million McDonald's Monopoly Prize? Do you remember the feeling of peeling the Monopoly game ticket off the box of medium fries, hoping that your ticket would change your life, only to have a wave of dissatisfaction sweep over you as you realize that you are the winner?
Now look, I don't know how young y'all are, but if you was in the 80s, I was born in the 90s, and I remember this. I remember you could peel the thing off, get you a Big Mac or something like that. You know, if y'all remember this, let me know in the chat, in the comment section. Let me know where you got box. Oh, it's cool, man. It's cool. But if y'all remember this, let me know. Y'all remember this in the 80s and the 90s? I'm showing y'all how everything ties in together, bro. Let me know in the comment section. Do y'all remember this when McDonald's had this? They brought it back. Yep. Oh yeah, they're gonna talk about that. They're gonna talk about that. They found Luigi, aka John Wick, in McDonald's in Pennsylvania, where Monopoly was originated. It's a cold game, bro. It's a cold game. The McDonald's CEOs was the key player in this case. I'm telling you, and nobody want anything. You see, you see how easily people are fooled in this country, bro. It don't matter. They could have degrees. They could have 10 degrees. It don't matter. It don't matter. I love this shit. I love this shit. I really love this shit, bro. And I promise you, nobody is putting all this shit together. Outside of my channel, you'll probably never hear this shit because nobody is putting this shit together. Hulk, okay, Luigi, the guy that shot the CEO dude, they caught him in Pennsylvania. But before that, he left Monopoly money in a book bag in New York, and the cops found that. But they caught him in Pennsylvania in McDonald's, where Monopoly originated, and McDonald's had a scandal going on with Monopoly in like the 80s and the 90s, and they brought it back temporarily. I'm telling you, all symbolic. I'm telling you. That's why I say you gotta pay attention because dude, by him leaving that money in New York in that bag, he was telling them the game is on. You think it's You think it's just me? No, we got other players too. Y'all can arrest me. We got other players also. Because if you ever pay, like I say, if you ever play Monopoly, the game is 2 to 8 players. It's 2 to 8 players. So you think he's the only player? And of course, in Monopoly, it's gonna be a it's gonna be a chance that you go to jail for a period of time, but you getting out because you got money. Your family got money. You know, you got builders over here. You got So by Friday he'll be out. And like I told y'all, if you ever seen Money Heist, you can really understand this shit if you watch the Money Heist on Netflix. You can really understand this. He's gonna make bail. He's gonna make it by Friday. He got money. His people got connections. We go see in the next video. We go see what kind of connections his family got, and y'all gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But let's carry on.
Winner of the McDouble once again. Well, it turns out there was a big reason no one you knew ever won the big prizes in the McDonald's Monopoly games of the 80s and 90s. The entire game was rigged by a man known as Jerome Uncle Jerry Jacobson, who stole over $24 million in prizes from McDonald's games over the course of 12 years. This is the story of McFraud. In the year 1987, McDonald's started one of their most ambitious and successful marketing campaigns to date. Every purchase of their top selling items, from fries, Big Macs, and large drinks, gave you the chance to win Monopoly prizes from the Monopoly stickers that were on the packaging. Each one of these game pieces could win you a prize
Free
ranging from
Luigi.
free food to potentially $1 million if you collected the correct pieces. Now, with a grand prize of $1 million,
McFraud.
McDonald's had to use a third party to create and distribute the pieces to make sure none of McDonald's employees tried to cheat. The company responsible for this was Simon Marketing, whose head of security was a man named Jerry Jacobson. As head of security, it was his job to make sure no winning game pieces were ever stolen or tampered with. Now, in the beginning, Jerry ran a tight ship. He used his ex-cop training to keep the factory on point that made the game pieces, and even went as far as to check factory workers' shoes as they left the location to make sure they weren't trying to smuggle out game pieces. However, by 1989, for reasons unknown, Jerry had a change of heart, and the temptation got the best of him. He snuck out a game piece for $25,000 and gave it to his stepbrother to cash the prize when he met up with him at a family wedding. After that, Jerry laid low for a few years and diligently provided the security for the game pieces for Monopoly and other sweepstakes that McDonald's and other companies ran. It wasn't until 1995 that he began his heist again. In that year, Simon Marketing did a random computer drawing to determine which factory would create the McDonald's Monopoly pieces for the upcoming year. However, the random factory picked was in
Oh
Canada,
yeah.
and Simon Marketing did the drawing again until the computer picked an American factory that they could have more control over. Jerry, now feeling the whole system was rigged,
Can't make this
had
shit
no
up.
reservations about stealing game pieces after that, and went all in on rigging the entire game. Jerry started giving out winning pieces for cars, cash, and vacations to family members at first, and eventually created a whole organization working with mobsters, drug traffickers, and even a psychic. One of Jerry's mob associates, another man named Jerry Colombo, was even featured in a McDonald's commercial after cashing in a stolen game piece to win a car. For over 12 years, people in Jerry's McFraud network won almost every single grand prize in the Monopoly giveaways. And one key to avoiding suspicion that Jerry did was that occasionally.
So y'all heard him, right? The only people that won was the people who was doing the scams. So let's talk about the healthcare system. Who is winning? The only people winning is the people that's scamming in the healthcare system. The CEOs, all their workers. They the only ones that's winning. I'm telling you, bro. So that's why he drove to that McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Out of all McDonald's, and what, Alatoona, whatever, out of all the McDonald's, you gonna drive to a McDonald's in Pennsylvania?
Occasionally, he would give out random winning pieces to people he would meet. In one situation, he even gave out the $1 million winning prize to St. Jude's Hospital. One time, Jerry met a couple on a cruise ship and ended up giving them a winning ticket. Another time, Jerry sold a $10,000 winning piece to a butcher for just $2,000 in cash. On many occasions, Jerry would have the people he gave the winning pieces to cash them in on different states. He didn't want to arouse suspicion if all the winning pieces were being cashed in around where he lived. Now, despite his caution, eventually the FBI caught on to Jerry. In the late 90s, they began to circle in on his organization. Eventually, they began to close their web around him with a wiretap on a few phones and tailing a few cars of his associates. By the year
Look,
2000,
look,
the
look, look,
FBI
look what they
finally
got.
had it.
You can't make this shit up, bro. You can't make this shit up, bro.
Enough to go after his Jerry and his ring of McThieves. The FBI soon approached McDonald's to work with them to bring the whole McCrime ring to a
LeBron
close. But at this
James.
time, McDonald's had actually planned on stopping the Monopoly game after they found one of their employees try and steal over 3,000
Bro,
game
I be
pieces
laughing every
from a
day, bro.
store. Now, with the FBI's urging, they allowed it to go on for one more cycle to catch Jerry and his
LeBron
toy. Now, the
James.
FBI and McDonald's decided to visit the winner of the 2001 grand prize winner for $1 million. His name was Michael Hoover, and the FBI went to his house posing as a film crew and interviewed the guy. And quickly over the course of the interview, they realized this guy was in on the scam with Jerry, and they were able to flip the guy and get him to turn in Jerry and his whole crew, and this began the downfall of Jerry's McScheme. Over the next few weeks, the FBI arrested over 50 people related to Jerry's McCrime ring, and Jerry himself was eventually sentenced to 37 months in prison and forced to pay back $12.5 million in restitution to McDonald's. Almost everyone else involved in the scheme was convicted of mail fraud and conspiracy to defraud McDonald's. Most of them ended up serving minor prison sentences or had to pay back McDonald's for the prizes stolen. Now, the arrest of Jerry and the trial took place in mid September of 2001. It was a big story at the time until it eventually was overshadowed by the events of September 11th. McDonald's was eventually sued by customers who had spent lots of money trying to win the prizes, and McDonald's did eventually pick new winners and give out new prizes. But the damage had been done. The companies Simon Marketing and McDonald's both ended up suing each other and never worked together again. McDonald's stopped doing the Monopoly game for several years after all the bad press it received, but a few years later, with a new ad agency and new security measures, they brought it back. Now, many people to this day still think the game is rigged, and perhaps it is, but ultimately I'm going to leave that question up to you. Do you think justice was served in this case? And do you think potentially the Monopoly game at McDonald's is still rigged?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. After all that shit, after everybody got caught, they still brought it back because they saw how much money it made them. You can't make this shit up, bro. Somebody said that. You cannot make this shit up. How soon they forget. I'm telling you. Said no one cares, little bro. Yet you are in the live. So you do care, Steezy. Little Steezy, you do care. That game was rigged. I'm telling you. And that's what John Wick was saying. That's what John the game is rigged. And the only way to fix this shit is to stop playing. The game is rigged. The only way to fix this shit is to stop playing. As long as everybody keeps paying taxes, everybody keeps going along with their rules in a monopoly game, it's gonna keep going on. People, bro, weak to stop playing. Yeah, that's facts, bro. People too weak to stop playing. I understand, bro. Once everybody gets fed up, that's when the game will end. But as long as everybody participating, the game gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. And what we saw from Luigi, from what he did, he was tired of playing, and he took matters into his own hand. And they think that he was the only player. No, The moment they unzipped that book bag and found that monopoly money, game was on. That's the real Civil War facts. The system is over 500 years. Yep. It's hard to stop. These people are live forever. It's, when everybody stops playing, just like in the trucking game, people can't really complain about truck driving if everybody's just going to go along. The trucking game can be changed overnight, but nobody wants to protest. Truckers don't want to take a week off. They too scared. Not all of them, but for the most part, they too scared to stick together and create a change in the trucking industry. So they're gonna keep lying to the drivers. They gonna keep bullshitting drivers, even at your job. People gonna keep bullshitting you until somebody stand up and stop playing the game. Racism plays a part of keeping it going. That's facts. But you see, all it takes is one person. You saw what he did to his CEO, dude. All it takes is one. One person can put fear into many men. One person can put fear into many men, especially these cowards. They just hide behind money. You saw as soon as this happened, what they do. They took off all they see, whatever their job title was, they erased it. They erased it. I mean, look up Dolly Parton, the rapper, on Google. I'm also disabled. Can you imagine if the shooter? Oh man, that would have been a whole different story. Rockstar, this case got you fired up. Hell yeah, because I love when people speak up. I love when people take action. I love when people get fed up and say, fuck it. If you gonna take me to jail, take me to jail. I love that shit. I love when people not afraid to lose their job because they speaking up. It might not do anything, but I feel like when you speak up, you sleep better at night. When you speak your mind, when you truly believe what you talking about or what you doing makes sense, you sleep good at night. That's how I feel. But if you keep playing this game and you don't speak up, but you frustrated about life, you go to bed every night sick, stressed out. You gotta smoke every day. You gotta drink every day so you can suppress everything down. You gotta fake around your family members. You gotta fake around the people at your job. I'm just saying, me, oh my God, yeah, like, look, bro. One thing as I get older, I'm learning: do not suppress what you truly feel because that's gonna lead you to a life of hell. See, me personally, I believe hell is why you on this earth. You could be going through a mental hell, letting people control you, letting people put fear into you, letting whatever they say about you dictate how you feel about yourself. People are going through mental hell. That's right. Speak up. Don't do that. Don't complain. Shut up. Don't stand up. Shut up. I'm telling you, people are going through mental hell. So that's why people talking about people that's in prison. I'm like, look, bro, it's a lot of people in prison that's more free than people that's out in the world. It's more people in prison that are literally free than more people that's out in the world. Because you got people that hate their job, they hate their family, they hate where they live, they hate the car they drive, they hate their life. Every day they wake up, they like, fuck, another day? I'm telling you. And I can speak on this because I've been there before, bro. I've been there. I've been in those situations. Earth is hell. Hell yeah, it can be hell. It can be hell. It's all mental. It can be hell. But let's get into it.
Degree murder applies, but listen, second degree murder can carry sunny days, coffee.
I hate that I won't be able to catch these lives and miss some of this one. It's cool. That's why I leave them up. That's why I leave these lives up. It's cool that you don't catch it, in the moment. That's why I leave them up.
The scholar, this man seemingly of privileged beginnings, is officially the suspect that police say
Yep, you
killed
can do it.
Thompson. And this all happened in just a day, yesterday, following a harrowing multi-day manhunt that led to Mangione's arrest in Altoona. This is a city in western Pennsylvania.
Okay, so now this video, now like I said, we already talked about the Monopoly money, Monopoly game, McDonald's, all that shit ties in together. So we literally in a game right now. And he also, y'all remember the video I showed y'all yesterday? He had a YouTube channel that they took down, a video. Hold on, we'll come back to this. Uh, see, we talked about this yesterday. He also had a YouTube channel. It was called, the title of this video was called The Truth. And he said, if you see this, I'm already under arrest. You got people say the video is still gonna come out. It's on a timer or something like that. They say it's on a timer. So this what's gonna happen. They don't want him to make bail because if he makes bail, he can get back on YouTube. I'm telling you, it's a cold game. It's a cold game. The video is called The Truth. If you see this, I'm already under arrest. So he knew. That's why I telling y'all yesterday. He knew he was getting arrested. So he went to that McDonald's on purpose. I'm putting this shit together. I'm telling you. Once you find out that you're supposed to be guys and not men, it's kind of hard to be thankful for anything less than that. Man, that's some real shit. That's some real shit. Great blackness. Hey, I like that. That's some real shit. Let's go back to
Prodigy. It's simply impossible. Second degree murder is just an intentional killing of another person. And the reason it's not first
but
degree
man,
is
thank you
because
so much.
first
He's
degree
back.
is a little bit more specific. Like the victim had to have been a certain kind of person, a police officer, a firefighter. The killing had to happen maybe in a prison. There are different specific categories, and it doesn't seem at this point that assemble yourself. The most alarming part about it is it can't be traced. And the weapon appeared to be 3D printed. And along with the gun, Mangione.
So y'all heard what he said, right? The weapon was 3D printed, and they said they found a gun on him also. So you telling me that you driving with all this stuff on you on purpose so they can find you with it? That's why I say every video, every picture you saw, it looked like a different person. Every video, every picture you saw, it looked like a different person. After this video, I want y'all to go watch all the videos, all go see all the pictures. It looked like a different person on each one of them. And we're about to see the picture, the video when he was in McDonald's and when they arrested him.
He also had a suppressor on it. And one of the things we've been wondering is where is this murder weapon? Where is this gun? There were teams that were diving in Central Park trying to find it in the water there.
but it seems, based on this information,
Nico
it was on
facts.
the suspect.
Look,
Also reportedly on Mangione.
now, y'all telling me this dude looks like the same guy that we've been showing. That's in the thumbnail. Is this the same guy? If I'm tripping, let me know I'm tripping. Is this the same guy? If I'm tripping, let me know I'm tripping, because my eyes could be playing tricks on me. This guy looks way older. Look at him. What, he eating a hash brown? Look, eating a hash brown. Bro, who dresses like this in 2024, bro? Look. In 2024, who dresses like this to go to McDonald's? Eating a hash brown. Ah, this shit hilarious, bro. That's not him. Let me know in the comment section if y'all feel like that's the same guy. Not the same. Not the same dude. Exactly. This dude look like he's way older. Not way older, but he looks like he's older. Not the same dude.
Mangione were several fake IDs, including this counterfeit New Jersey driver's license that appears.
But I told y'all, in the game of Monopoly, you got 2 to 8 players. Always remember that shit.
To match the one that was used by the suspect at that Manhattan hostel that I mentioned on the night before Thompson's murder. And now you can see why he is charged with what he's charged with
Now
in
look.
Pennsylvania.
Now look. The dude we just saw. Look at this. Is that the same guy? No. This don't even look like the guy in the thumbnail. This don't even look like him. This a third person. We done seen 3 people so far. We done seen 3 people so far. And you think if you're going to unalive somebody, you think you're gonna have your mask down, smiling? No, this is purposely done. This was purposely done. I said 2 to 8 players. It's 2 to 8 players that play Monopoly. It's not the same person. Matter of fact, that looks like a woman. If you want to be for real, that looks like a woman. If you want to be really real. And then you want to know the cold part? He talked to all his friends. The news talked to all his friends. And they probably had this shit already planned, bro. What to say? I'm telling you.
At Monday's news conference, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro stepped forward. He spoke about this arrest, and he urged the public not to put this guy on any kind of pedestal because there has been a disturbing outpouring of support for the shooter
That's a
online.
woman, bro. That's a
As he
female.
gunned down the head of a
That's a
private
female.
health insurance company.
This killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on
No
this.
evidence. Yeah.
He is no hero.
Who said that? Nico. That's facts. You got no evidence. You got no evidence that he pulled the trigger. We saw no face. Somebody said yesterday, no face, no case.
The real
Ah,
hero in this story is the person who called 911 at McDonald's this morning. This killer was not a hero. He should not.
the Rainbow Crew.
We'll get into that a little bit more, but now I want to talk about the background on this guy.
Now listen up, y'all.
So according to reports,
Listen up.
he was a bright student, had a passion for tech, grew up in Towson, Maryland.
Tom
Was a
Cruise.
standout student, having graduated valedictorian from the prestigious Gilman School in Baltimore back in 2016.
Now look, he graduated in 2016. Look, you don't think if they say he was a leader in school, You don't think if he came up with an idea that the rest won't follow? You don't think that they won't follow? Let me show y'all. Look at his face. You don't think he will follow? Do they look happy? Do they look happy that they graduated? Y'all let me know. Do they look happy? Are they like, you know what? I'm telling you.
This is a school known for producing top tier students. In fact, the school's tuition costs reportedly around $37,000 per year, and according to the Baltimore Banner, it's considered one of the top independent schools in the city. While at Gilman, Mangione competed on the wrestling team. He had interest in robotics, computer science. The New York Times reported that he even co-founded a video game development company called Uproar Games, did it with his friends. In
Now y'all heard that part, right? He developed a video game company with his friends. I'm sorry I had to keep pausing it, but I have to say this shit. He developed a gaming, with his friends. So y'all think they not in on this shit together? You don't think he went to his friends and say, look, these people did what they did to my family, they did what they did to me, and they gotta pay for it. See, everybody in life, it don't matter if you come from money. Everybody not going along with this shit. Everybody not playing the game. Everybody not waking up and just going to work and letting people talk to them crazy. And you gotta go to the hospital or you need this. You get denied this many times. Everybody not going for that shit. It don't matter your background. Everybody not going for that. So you don't think his friends going along with this shit? I'm telling you, bro.
In his graduation speech, he emphasized coming up with new ideas, challenging the world around us. Following Mangione's arrest, the Gilman School issued a statement expressing their shock over the events. Henry E.A. Smiley, the school's headmaster, said, "This is deeply
Appreciate that,
distressing
Maddie.
news on top of an already awful situation. Our hearts go out to everyone affected." After Gilman, Mangione reportedly attended the Ivy League at the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned both bachelor's and master's degrees, majored in computer science, specializing in artificial intelligence, also got a minor in math.
Mm-hmm. Let's
He's
talk about
already
that.
involved in the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity, co-founded a game development club. He even had internships at high-profile companies such as Firaxis Games. This is the creator of the popular Civilization video games. After graduation, according to Mangione's LinkedIn, he worked as a data engineer for TrueCar, although companies.
Hold on. I'm about to show y'all something. If you seen Money Heist, this who he remind me of. This who he remind me of. If you seen Money Heist. If you seen Money Heist, let me know in the comment section. If you seen it, let me know in the comment section. If you seen Money Heist, let me know. That's who he remind me of right there. The professor. If you seen Money Heist, that's who he remind me of. The professor. Now when y'all watch this tonight, or when I go live tomorrow, I want y'all to tell me was I right. 'Cause I know a lot of y'all probably never seen it, but go watch that shit. Like tomorrow, tonight, go watch that shit. And he gonna remind you of the professor. Cause like I say, even though he goes to jail, they got money. He's getting out. And he could get back to what he was doing. But let's get back to it.
The spokesperson told CBS News that he hadn't worked there since 2023. As for his family background, this is according to the Baltimore Sun, it's really interesting. Mangione's family is very well established in the Baltimore area. And Mangione, by all accounts, he was raised in privilege with a very promising future. His family millionaire, including a chain of nursing homes and country clubs. At the center of his family's success is his late grandfather, Nicholas Mangione Sr., a self-made real estate developer who made his fortune through investments.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas Sr. built a lasting legacy with ownership in several
Moonwalking. He's so smart. That's facts.
Turk Valley Country Club in Ellicott City, which he purchased in 1978, transformed into a golf resort getaway. This is according to the resort's website. In 1986, he also acquired Hayfields Country Club. This is according to the
Free
club's
Luigi.
website. And the family's
Luigi.
business empire also extends into ownership of Lorien Health Services. This is a chain of senior rehabilitation centers, which is interesting. Again, thinking his connection now to allegedly murdering the head of a health insurance.
Now I think he's Italian, bro.
And
But
on top of everything
you know,
you just heard, it doesn't end there because the Mangiones also own a local radio station, WCBM-AM. Now on the civic side,
mm-hmm.
Mangione's grandmother,
Thank you for saying that, Southside Arab. Thank you for saying that. This is another character in the in Money Heist. And hold on, this is another character. He looked just like him. He looked just like him. Look just like Rio. Now tell me he didn't watch Money Heist before he did this shit. That's Rio Jr. He got a new name. It's no longer John Wick. It's Rio. Shout out to Southside Arab, man. Shout out to Southside Arab. God damn. That's Rio, bro. And the woman, hold on. We're about to get into it. And the one flirting at the desk, that wasn't the man. That was Tokyo. That was Tokyo. That was Tokyo. That was Tokyo. And the dude in the McDonald's, I'm telling you, that was that was Denver. That was Denver. We got a real life money heist going on, son. This shit crazy. This shit crazy, bro. That was Denver in the McDonald's. I'm telling you, bro. Art imitates life. That's facts. So you don't think these guys sat down and watched Money Heist? Did they? I'm telling you, because you gotta think about it. When he pulled that trigger, did we see a face? All we saw was somebody with a hood on. Watch this. Watch this. All we saw somebody with a hood on ride off on a bike. And hold on, let's put all this shit together, bro. Remember they had the New York lookalike like right after that? Money Heist. They had everybody. They had everybody in the world on that show looking like them. Look, I don't know why my shit do that. Well, look, on the show it was all lookalikes. After the CEO shooting, what happened in New York? Everybody they had a lookalike contest. Who can look like the shooter the most? In Money Heist, it was a scene where they, they had the hostages out and they told them to put the mask on, so the cops didn't know who was who. So y'all don't think that those people told them, look, right after this shooting, I want y'all to go to New York and have a lookalike contest. They told them to do that. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, bro. And like I say, I don't watch much TV, bro. I watch when good shit come out. That's when I watch it. Money Heist, that will always be my shit because it wasn't about the money. It was never about the money at first, because they could have been got off with the money. It was about making a statement. Whew, I'm telling you, let's get right back into it, bro. Let's get right back into it. But this is real, bro. That's no longer. This is no longer John Wick. We are retiring John Wick. This is real.
Merriman Mangione was a well-known benefactor who supported various cultural and charitable causes throughout Baltimore. She was a patron of the arts, particularly the Baltimore Opera Company and the Walters Art Museum, where she became a trustee. Mangione's cousin, Nino Mangione, serves as a Republican representative in Baltimore County's District 42A. Nino Mangione, by the way, released a statement on behalf of the family saying, "We only know what
Message.
we read in the media. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family and Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved."
No
So
DNA, no
this is a young
fingerprints.
man
None.
with possibly everything
Rio
going for him.
Wick.
Powerful family supporting him,
That's Rio.
highly intelligent, prestigious educational background. And yet, what's interesting, eerie, and chilling is despite all of this, what we're seeing now is a picture of a person who maybe just disappeared from the social sphere. Why? Because in the months leading up to his arrest, former classmates who had once been in regular contact with him noticed this sudden and prolonged absence from his social circle. And this may have all started with a very serious spinal injury. You see, last year, Mangione underwent spinal surgery. This is according to the New York Times. A former roommate of his, R.J. Martin, told the Times that Mangione was in severe pain due to what he thought was a pinched nerve, that this often disrupted his daily life. Following the surgery, Martin said that Mangione had shown very, very troubling images of screws and hardware in his spine. Evidently, on Mangione's X page, there is an X-ray of what would appear to be a spine with screws in it, though it's unclear if that's actually a picture of Mangione's spine. But Martin went on to say that while he had known Mangione to be a particularly thoughtful person, he believed he may have been severely impacted by this health issue, which could have led him to become more withdrawn. And compounded with this physical isolation, Martin says he was also in social isolation. He told CNN that Mangione had been MIA for months, and this eventually became a concern among those who knew him. According to CBS News, there were these posts that had tagged Mangione's X account expressing concern about where he was. There was one post from October that reportedly read, "Nobody has heard from you in months." Another post from July read, "I don't know if you're okay or just in a super isolated place and have no service, but I haven't heard from you in months." According to the New York Times, one man back in July even asked him about committing to his wedding, saying, "You made commitments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly." The Times also says they reviewed a post from less than 2 weeks ago where someone apparently said, "Know you are missed and loved." His family was also reportedly worried about him, so much so that his mother apparently filed a missing persons report on November 18th. This is according to the San Francisco Standard, though the outlet reports it's unclear whether he had been there or if she had reason to believe that he was there. One former classmate of his, Aaron Cranston, told the New York Times that he was forwarded a message indicating that Mangione's family hadn't heard from him for several months. This was following the back surgery. Now, on social media, Mangione had been traveling around and seen with friends in all different kinds of places. Mexico, San Diego, Hawaii actually was the
Pain will
place
make
that
you
he
act
lived and
out too.
breathed. And this was all before he apparently began to isolate. But it just wasn't this apparent isolation that was alarming. It was also the content that Mangione was apparently consuming and sharing online. Because according to his social media activity, Mangione had been revisiting ideas and ideologies that, you know what, may have fueled this sense of alienation. So, for instance, there's this Goodreads account that has been linked to Mangione, and it's since been made private, by the way. But if it is him, it
Well, let's
reveals
go.
that he had recently read.
Well, let's go back to the. Let's go back. We're gonna look up the whole cast and put this shit. I'm telling you, you gotta love this shit, bro. You got Tokyo. That was the person that was smiling at the desk, and everybody think it was him. You got the professor. That's Luigi, and that's his brother. Uh, Raquel. I think she was the cop. She was the cop, and there we go. We got Rio, aka Luigi. I'm telling you. You got Nairobi, and you got Denver, who was in the McDonald's. I think her name was Stockholm. But when you playing this game, I'm telling you, it's more than one player, and that's what he was telling them. So you think he's gonna win it, bro? By Friday, he will be out, and once he get out, he can get back to YouTube, even on house arrest. He can get back to YouTube. He can post the video. This is better than Perry Mason and his best. I'm telling you, he had a video coming out called "The Truth." Not enough evidence, yeah. All we saw when he pulled that trigger, somebody with a hood on and a book bag on, and they got on a bike. That's all we saw. You gotta prove that. Now after that, you saw different faces. You saw him in a taxi, and he looked directly into the camera, right? He looked directly into the camera on purpose, and that wasn't him. Hit the likes, appreciate that. That wasn't him. Purposely, everything was done purpose. That's why I tell y'all, man, it's people that's not going along, bro. And 2025, whatever Cat Williams said was gonna happen, bro, that shit happened. Whatever he said in January was gonna happen. This year, everything came out in the open. Just like Giant Taylor said. Everything's out in the open. 2025, I'm telling you. Soon as those cops unzipped that book bag and saw that Monopoly money, game on. Game on. He issued out the money. Game on. It's on us to change the world. Facts. Facts. Damn, that's deep. If you sit back and think about that, that's deep. It's on us to change the world. So many people, we waiting on this person, that person. It's on us. Everyone has a place. Everyone has a part to play. Everyone has a part to play. It's on us because as long as we keep playing this Monopoly game, people gonna be stressed out. People gonna be strung out on drugs. The people you see in life and you think they got it all together, you don't see those folks behind closed doors going through it. Mm-mm. We are God's chosen after all facts. But I love this shit, man. I love this shit. Moonwalker. I'm telling you, that was some real shit what you said earlier. He made us from the, but everyone has a part to play. So by him, so like I say, by him leaving that money, it just shows you game on. This real life Monopoly, no board game. Now we playing real life Monopoly. Now you got some people that can see what's going on, and you gonna have people trolling. They can't see what's going on. They don't want to see. They're gonna wake up, go to work, hate their life. It is what it is. But you got some people as you get older, bro, and you see the truth. You got some people that have to speak up no matter what. Yeah, we all here for a purpose. None of us or anyone can get folded. We already win the game. Hey, if you think that, bro. If you think they already won, hello, it's Rick outside, everyone in the room. What's popping? What's popping? But I appreciate y'all for coming to live, man. This is a good live. Tomorrow's gonna get crazy. Tomorrow, shit gonna start getting crazy. It's gonna slowly start unfolding, and we'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to Maddie for holding it down. ATM, Nico. Shout out to all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for coming to the live. I really appreciate y'all. I know some of this stuff probably bore y'all, but I love this shit. Had fun with all the comments. Oh yeah, we're doing this shit every night, man. Every night. This nigga sold me fentanyl. What? Bro, y'all, nah, that was funny. Nah, you got, if it's funny, if it's funny, you can keep them, bro. But some of the trolls be lame, bro. But if it's funny like that, we can keep them kind of trolls. But hey, y'all have a good night, man. Enjoy y'all day tomorrow. We'll be back at 12, uh, 12 a.m. and we going in. I'm out.